In this video, we're going to learn about how to figure out the mean, median, mode, and range of a dataset. We're going to look at the concept of each one of these, starting with this dataset right here. We want to start by taking a look at mean. Now, mean is also called the average or the expected value when you get into probability. And what that really is, it's the sum of the values divided by the number of items that you have. So if we were to take a look at this example right here, we'd be taking the sum, which means taking the addition of each one of these values and adding them up. And then what we're going to do is divide it by the number of items that we have here. So you'll notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items. So we'll divide this by 8. By doing that, we're going to get an answer of 40 over 8, and this simplifies to 5. So the mean of this data set is going to be 5. If we decided to do it on the other data set, which we have over here, again, we're going to take the sum of the items divided by the number of items that we have. So if we add this up, it's going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items. Adding this up is going to give us 32 divided by 8, which will simplify to 4. So our mean for this is going to be 4. If we move on to median, median is going to be considered the middle value here. When you get more into probability, it's really the idea of if you have a data set and you're going to be dividing with 50% of our data on the left side and 50% of their data on the right side. So when we're looking at this data set, what we can do is we're going to try to figure out what the middle value is. And there's a couple ways that we can do it. The way that I like to do it is actually canceling out the subsets on either side. So if we take this value and we cancel out this value, then we're getting one step closer to the middle. So we're removing the values until we actually get to the middle in terms of a set. So we remove the second set, then we remove the third set, and now we're left with two values in between. When we get this, we look at the value that's going to be in the middle, which would be 5.5, right? That is between 5 and 6. So our answer would be 5.5 for the median. Now moving on to this other data set, we're going to go ahead and look for the mean for this one. Now again, remember the mean is going to be the middle. So we're going to cancel it out in terms of subsets. We'll take a look at the first set. We remove that. We remove the second set. Then we remove the third set. You'll notice in this instance we have two values, right? We're going to be looking at what's in the middle of it, but we have 4 and 4. So that's going to mean that our median is going to be 4. Next, we're going to look at mode. Now, mode is going to be what occurs the most, or what's most likely to happen. When we get into probability, that's the idea of our highest probability. So when we look at a data set, we're going to be trying to figure out what occurs more than once. And if we notice that, we actually have 6, and it occurs twice in our data set. Because of this, this is going to be what our mode is. It's what occurs most likely in our data set here. When we move on to this next example, we're going to take a look at the same thing. What is going to be our mode? What occurs most in our data set? And we'll notice that we have two instances of the number 4. So therefore, this is going to be our mode. We have two instances of 4, and that'll be our final answer for that. Lastly, we're going to take a look at the range. Now, the range is equal to what we have as our last data and our first data point. You'll notice though that this is going to be in terms if we have it in numerical order from the lowest value here on the left to the highest value on the right. So we take our highest value and subtract it to our lowest value. So 8 minus 1 is going to give us an answer of 7. Over here on this, we're going to take a look at our range, which is going to be again from our highest value to our lowest value. And that's going to be 7 minus 1, which will give us 6. Moving on, we're going to do another practice problem. So we're going to be looking at this data set here, and we're going to figure out the mean, median, mode, and range of it. So looking at mean, again, that's going to be the sum of all of our numbers divided by the number of items that we have. So if we add all of these numbers up, we're going to have a value of 39. Now we have a number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have a number of 8 items. If we divide this, this is going to give us an answer of 4.875. Moving on to our median, again, that's going to be our middle value. So we're going to cross out until we get to the middle. So we cross out the first set on the outside, and as we slowly move inside, we're going to notice that we get a value that's in between 4 and 5, which is going to give us an answer of 4.5. Now again, our mode is going to be what we consider as what occurs the most. Looking at our data set, we actually have an instance where we have two modes, right? We are going to see where we have a value of 3 twice, and we have a value of 7 twice. Now that is okay. We can actually have two modes. We can know most likely outcome can happen with two different values. So we're going to put 3 and 7 as our mode. Now our range again is going to be the highest value minus the lowest value. Our highest value is going to be 8, while our lowest value is 2. So that gives us a range of 6. Next, we're going to look at it when we have a data set that is out of order. When this occurs, what we really need to do is put this in order, because that will actually help us figure out the median. And it will actually help us figure out the mode, though it's not necessary to do that. We have 3 instances of 1. Then we have an instance of 5 and an instance of 7. We have an instance of 9 once. Then it looks like we go to 12, and 12 occurs twice. Then we have 14, followed by 20, and then ending with 35. Now it's good as you go through your data set to either put a line underneath or cross it out so you can make sure that you can get all the values and you're not missing anything. So now that we have this data set, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out the mean, median, and mode of all of it. So starting with mean, again, it's going to be the sum of what we have divided by the number of instances that we have. If we add this all up, we're going to have 117. And if we count the number of items we have, it should add up to 11. If we divide this, this is going to give us a mean of 10.636 repeating. Our median, again, is going to be the middle value. So we would need to have that data set in order for us to figure that out. So removing each endpoints until we can get to the middle, we're going to take the third set, the fourth set, and then the fifth set. You'll notice that we actually, in this case, we only have a middle value. We don't have two middle values. If that's the case for this, then we're going to just consider this middle value right here of 9. Moving on to our mode, this is going to be the instance where we have most likely occurrence, or what happens the most. We notice that we have 3 occurrences of the value of 1, and we have 2 occurrences of the value of 12. Because 1 happens 3 times, that's more than the 2 times of 12. So we're going to have an answer of 1 for the mode. Moving on to the range, that's going to be the value that we have as the highest, which is 35, minus the value that's the lowest, which is 1. So our range is going to be an answer of 34. Moving on to a word problem, we can use this to figure out the mean, median, mode, and range. So for this example, we have Mr. Heaton's class held a week-long pizza fundraiser and recorded the number of pizzas sold each day, which is going to be this list right here. So what is the mean, median, mode, and range of the pizzas sold this week? So what we need to do before we can figure out mean, median, mode, and range is we need to put this in order. Now the reason why we do this again is to figure out the median, but it also helps us figure out the mode and the range as well. Putting this in order, we're going to have 8, then 10, and we can cross this out as we work through it. Then we're going to have 12, 12, then 18, 18, and then 20 to end. So again, the mean is going to be equal to the sum divided by the number of items that we have, which is going to be 7. If we add all of these items up, this is going to equal to 98. 98 divided by 7 is going to give us an answer of 14. Our median is going to be the middle value, and so if we start crossing these out, and as we work towards going towards the center, we're going to find that our median is going to be a value of 12. Our mode again is what happens the most occurrence, and that's going to be 12. We have 2 instances of 12 and we have 2 instances of 18. So we'll have 2 values for that, 12 and 18. And then our range is going to be again the largest minus the smallest. So we have 20 minus 8, which is going to give us an answer of 12.